And we're now joined by the king of Daytona himself, Michael Self. You have now swept both Daytona races this weekend. 3 Daytona wins total, 2 on the oval, 1 on the road course. How are we doing today, Michael?
Yeah, I'm psyched, man. I mean, I said it a couple times last night on the broadcast. That was such a special win for me last night for so many reasons. The primary reasons being it was a road course win, and I've touted myself as a road racer for years, and made a fairly decent living coaching guys in the Trans Am TA2 series with White Cope Racing. But just haven't had the opportunity to road race in a stock car myself an awful lot, just kind of due to circumstances of scheduling and this year when we had two road races on the schedule, both those got wiped out. I was heartbroken. And so then they added Daytona, a track that I've gone to a number of times with the Trans Am series and the track that I've coached guys at. So I was really excited, looking forward to that. So from the standpoint of it being a road course, that's first and foremost special to me. Being at Daytona is extra special, to make the sweep of the super speedway and the road course. That is incredibly cool to me. And there's no secret and no lying about it. We've struggled the last couple of weeks. We have not been where we've wanted to be on the ovals. We've been a little bit frustrated as a team. I think we've kind of been getting things going in the right direction with a third place at Michigan, a fourth place at Toledo. But man, we feel like we should be competing for wins and leading laps everywhere that we go, and we haven't been doing that. So it felt really refreshing to come out and perform the way that we did last night.
Do you feel like this has finally turned your performance around? Is this a sign of things to come?
You hope so, but I've always told you I'm a very realistic person, right? I mean, road racing is so much different than oval racing, especially road racing in the wet. I really feel like when you see road racing in the rain, you take a lot of the equipment out of it. That's why you see underfunded teams in the Xfinity series when it rains. They're able to come out and they're able to compete and put on a good show. And I feel like we were in a situation like that last night. Not that our Sinclair Oil Toyota wasn't good, because it was extremely good. Kevin and the guys did a great job preparing that car and getting it together for the wet and dry conditions. But I'm not going to put myself in a position to fool myself thinking that just because we went and won a road race in the wet, think that that's going to carry over to Gateway in a couple weeks. We've got to sit down. We've got to figure out where we can find speed on the ovals, and figure out what we can do to capitalize on this. Momentum is great. We know that we're capable of winning races no matter where we go. We've got to figure out how to do it better on the ovals.
So let's talk about last night as a whole. First time you've been able to run a road course here in the ARCA Menards Series. You and I talked before the season started how you were so excited to have road courses this year. Did it live up to your expectations? Was it everything you wanted it to be?
It did. So last night, I mean, everyone texted me, like my friends, like my road racing buddies, and one of the coolest things about that was Daytona is a very historic road course track, right? But Daytona at night, in the rain, but ending in the dry, that just made it a little bit extra special. And the last 3 or 4 laps, I told myself kind of inside my helmet when I had the lead, I said, you know what? Just enjoy this. I don't know when my next road course race will be in a stock car. I said, just enjoy these laps, have fun with it. And that's what I did, man. I went out and I just had an absolute blast out there.
Well, speaking of fun, how much fun did you have racing for the lead there with Ty Gibbs? That was a lot of fun to watch. I know that. How much fun was that inside the car?
That was some of the most fun racing I've done in a long time. And a big shout out to Ty, because I think that the respect that he showed me and that we showed each other was what you hope to see in every race. I mean, that was very hard racing. Ty's someone that I've worked with a little bit on the road course side of things, so that was a little bit special to go out and race him. But man, just side by side in the wet, just that's what road racing is all about, man. That's why I get so excited about it. And I actually already went back and watched it this morning. I just kept going through those 2 laps because that was so cool to see. I really hope everyone that got to watch it at home enjoyed it.
How much did the wet change things last night? Because it looked a little bit wet on TV, but I don't know that it looked as wet as it actually was.
So we started out, the start of the race was very wet. That was a full wet situation there. But it didn't rain at all during the first couple laps. We got a couple of sprinkles, but the humidity was really, really high, and it cooled off quite a bit. So the track just didn't dry a whole lot. it stayed wet throughout that first break, and then the first break it was kind of like we questioned putting on slicks, but it just wasn't quite there. The last probably 5 or 6 laps of the race, that's when that's when I went to a dry line. I went to a dry line, and that's when things really kind of came to us. And that's when you start worrying about tearing up those rain tires. But General did a good job. I mean, that was a really good tire. We didn't have any chunking or any aggressive heat wear or anything. So it stayed like I said until those last 5 or 6 laps. It was really wet.
So looking forward now through the rest of the season, you got Gateway coming up here in a couple weeks, and then the remainder of the season after that. We're winding down the season at this point. You extended the points lead back to 15 points last night over Brett Holmes. How comfortable are you with that heading into the rest of the season?
Well, I mean, I'm not comfortable at all, again, because of how we performed on the ovals. I mean, we're going to tracks that we know really well. I mean, Gateway, I was able to qualify on pole there. We were really fast early on, had some mechanical issues. Obviously won Springfield, but look at Kansas. I mean, look at what Brett did to us at Kansas a couple of weeks ago. That's a race that's coming up. Obviously Salem is one of my favorite short tracks, so we've got that left on the schedule. I really enjoy Salem, but there's no reason for us to be comfortable in any sense of it right now. I mean, as a team, Adventure Motorsports, we've got 4 wins now this year, but that's not enough for us. We got to figure out how we can go compete for wins every single weekend right now, and if we do that, we do our job putting good cars together and driving smart races. The wins and the points take care of themselves. So that's our primary focus.
Definitely. Well, I think that's all I got for you. So, Michael Self, your winner from last night's race at the Daytona Road Course. Congratulations, man. And hopefully we'll be having more of these throughout the rest of the season.
Yeah, I hope so. We're going to check out the Xfinity race now. I'm hoping I'm praying for rain.
Yeah.
I see the clouds rolling in. It looks just like it did yesterday, man.
Yeah, so, well, I saw they were in a lightning delay, so yeah, it's turning into the ARCA race again today.
yeah, it's actually pretty cool. I've gotten text messages from a couple guys racing today asking me for some rain advice. Michael McDowell texted me earlier. That was kind of cool, asking for some rain advice. So I'm soaking it all in.
Nice. Well, have fun watching that, and I'm sure we'll all be watching it with you. And again, congratulations. We'll talk to you again soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, Garth.